Good evening, everybody. I think it's just about 7:30, and welcome to the first edition of Ask the Trader. Got a lot to get through tonight, and also a big welcome out there to those watching the recording of this live stream after the event. I hope you enjoy that as well. We've got a criteria content to go through first, just so you know how it works. I'm going to try and be consistent with this process, over every session we're going to run in future. It's going to be once a month, last Wednesday of the month, and hopefully we can build from there. Now, what are we going to be covering? Well, how we'll ask the trader work, that's what we're going to go through first. Brief market overview and some announcements, and then your questions. The questions you've already sent me, and the questions that I'm hoping that you're going to fire at me live in this session. I'll try my best to answer. So, how does this whole thing work? Well, it's quite straightforward. You bring the questions, I try and answer them. If this becomes popular and it becomes a bit of a free-for-all, and there's so many people asking for questions, then I'll prioritise the questions by those that buy the super chats in the sidebars there. And if we don't get time to answer your questions and you purchase a super chat, then I will answer that question and get back to you in the TheStopHunter community section, either by video or charts, whatever the type of question is. I might even turn it into a full video. This is my first time on live stream on YouTube, so I'm still trying to coordinate the screen capture stuff into YouTube. I've done other stuff before, but not like this, so I'm looking around all my screens at the moment to try and coordinate this to work. So it's really quite straightforward. Like I said, the bulk of the stream will be that look at the market overview, the announcements, and then, like I said, open to the floor. So just checking my notes, see what else we got to do. Well, the sessions, hopefully you're going to get about 30 minutes to an hour for your questions. I'm going to be quite picky and short on answering those questions, just especially if we've got a lot to go through, and there's always a chance for you to follow up in the Traders Club and via other media that I can maybe help you with. What else? Not a lot really. So I think with that we will start going on, and the first bit I'm going to have a look at is a brief market overview of what's been going on at the moment. Now, I focus on commodities, Forex, crypto, stocks, trade all those markets, and commodities is my one of my favourite areas. Energy at the moment, WTI still weak, maybe some OPEC plus intervention when it gets down to a certain level will drive that price up. Nat gas, we're in the season where it should be starting to bounce higher. Softs market still weak, a couple of exceptions, orange juice and cocoa, and looking to push through highs. Gold seems to be warming up at the moment, and in the grains subsector, rough rice seems to be the most bullish play there at the moment. Forex, well, I'm going to flick to some charts now, see if we can get them to work, and I use currency strength to ascertain what's going on at the moment. You might have seen this chart already, and this is a medium term view, and looking at the picture we can see the green line there, US dollar weakening, and with the dark green line, Canadian dollar coming down. So those two weak, and at the top there we can see a recovery in the Japanese yen from a pretty dire position of the last few months. Also the pound, well, after the Liz Truss shenanigans, the pound is also starting to get stronger. That's that red line there. The other lines you can see, that mixed bunch there, yellow Australia, the violet colour Swiss franc, blue the euro. So not much really happening in those, but Swiss franc holding its strength a little bit there at the moment. So I sort of use that for gauging what's going on in Forex world. And one of the questions we've got to answer is how that works. I'm going to show you another tool that I use in there that you might be interested in. In crypto space, well, FTX scandal, complete mess. It's not looking great at the moment for cryptos. It's an area I really like to trade and play around with. Bitcoin, Ethereum, weak bearish at best at the moment. What am I watching? These ones there: Ape, PAX, STX, TWT, BNX and Mask. And then heading into stocks, US and Chinese markets still weak. The Black Friday results were pretty good, but sort of negated by everything else that's going on in the world, high inflation, etc. But historically, we're entering a really strong period for the stock markets, and you might have heard of the Santa rally. And I don't think we're going to see it this year. For so many decades, it worked time after time, that strategy, but last few it's been a complete mess, and I can't really see it happening. Although things are starting to look a bit stronger. I'm going to time away on the technicals with that, really. If you are interested in certain stock markets, I think are looking good at the moment. The Euro stocks and the Nifty 50, and sectors that are bullish. And this is from my US focus here: energy and healthcare, and bearish crypto. So that's really my overview of the market. You can ask me more specific questions in the open session, but just wanted to quickly cover off a sort of high level of what's going on at the moment. So, announcements, and this might answer some of the questions that I've received already. Next Ask the Trader session, 28th December, 7:30, sits in between Christmas and New Year, so maybe you're getting bored at home, want something to do. I'll be here to run you into the New Year's trading. And another big announcement, and something I'm quite excited about, on YouTube. And if I bring that up now, let me just find that. You will see a new button here called Join, and it's just been approved by YouTube. And if I click on it to show you, it's a new traders club with a whole load of new benefits, taking it far further than the free one that I offer on Discord and the other stuff that I do. It's got two groups, Platinum and Diamond, and in the Platinum section, where you can click on it, you don't have to sign up first, we've got weekly market trading reports, and they look something like let me just find one for you. Here we go, something like that. You'd receive that every week in video content and PDF format, covering all the areas, trades, ideas, what to watch out for, etc, etc. And we can also, if we just go back to that YouTube page, we can see you get discounts on one-to-one coaching. There's a Traders Academy I'm launching with another live session where we're going to pick on just one topic and go through that. And there's other ad hoc events that will come as part of that membership throughout the year. Then the Diamond one adds on top of that trading signals and daily trade ideas in a new Telegram group, a very personal members monthly live webinar meeting, exclusive competitions, prizes, 50% off one-to-one coaching, and some fees discount on the fund that I operate. So that's the big new announcement. It is actually live there on YouTube at the moment, so you can join, building up the content now. If you're interested and want to find out more, let me know after this or ask me questions in the session. What else do we need to know? Let's go back to here. So that's the Traders Club. That's pretty much it for announcements. Not too much going on. Probably heading down for Christmas sort of mid-December, so not too much coming out on YouTube from that point. That's pretty much it. So let's get into those questions. Let's carry on with the short squeezes, long squeezes in relation to the support and resistances. So like I was saying, volume volatility, and let's pull up a chart and work this out. So to me, let's just pull up an ordinary chart. I'm going to load up one over here and drag it on over. There we go. So I'm presuming when you're showing these short squeezes, you're talking maybe more equity markets, or well, I suppose you can have in commodities, any sort of area really. But I suppose the fundamentals behind the squeeze is probably more important, and then it's marrying it into the price action, and also the time frames that you're looking at. Now if I picked a stock, let's use Tesla as the example. So what I would do in this instance is, remember, if you're using FX, volume is irrelevant, so you don't get that, you miss that. Okay, fabulous, the echo's gone. Well, actually I never pressed anything, so I think it must be the streaming capabilities of the system, so that's good to know. Must be that has the impact. I didn't get any warning up on the screen. So anyway, let's carry on. So I was saying volume, volatility, and price patterns. Price patterns, looking for those squeezes. Now I'm going to just draw, random. Now this, if we said, hopefully you can see that. Looking for that type of triangle pattern, and what you would be looking for is, the price may be sort of moving along inside there, it's squeezing its way down, you're getting pushed either side, but you need a confirmation to that trigger of these patterns aren't very good for giving you the direction of this breakout, this squeeze. So that's what I'm saying, tie it in with the fundamentals. But if it's stocks, commodities, that sort of thing, your futures, use the volume. You're going to see a spike, and that marries in with that type of pattern. And also you could maybe include, let's hide some of this stuff so it looks a bit more simple. You could include maybe Bollinger Bands. They are a volatility pinch type strategy. We could see them narrowing in, time it in with a pattern as well on top of that, volume going that way, and then look for maybe a confirming indicator to help you with the direction, or like I say, some fundamental knowledge. It might be earnings season, which is quite tricky to guess either way, but it might be some product announcement or some event that know's more likely to be bullish or bearish. So like I say, short squeezes, and you were saying different time frames. Well, again, you could go up, that was an hour, 1 hour chart, do the whole thing in the daily world, and then just bring it down in at lower, using say like the volume as well, to help you out, maybe in there. So we can pull it down to see some size, and just work your way down in the patterns. We can see here in Tesla we had this breakout, a pinch and a breakout. Why did it actually? It was not a lot actually going on there. It could even be a tweet that, in Tesla world, that gets the price moving off down. But if I was using it for different time frames, I would do this analysis at the higher level, if it's and down towards my trading time zone. So my 1 day, 4 hours, and then down to where I'm trading 1 hour, and that hopefully would get you a much better entry in the lower time frame and won't cost you so much money to put the trade on. So same process across all markets, like I said, other than Forex, where you're not going to get the volume, but it could be an economic new schedule event where you see that squeeze happening. You could maybe in Forex tell that it's happening because the bars all start going quiet, and you'll have a Bollinger Band maybe where the band has come quietly in, then you get that spike out around the event, and that's a strategy in itself, quite tricky to trade, but you'll be in the really, really low time frames. Another one from Crypto A to Z, trading psychology. That's a massive subject, and I do have, and I think Crypto A to Z was aware of this on the YouTube channel. If I bring that up now, there's the video, Master Your Trading Psychology's 8 Rules to Make You Better Trader. Now, I just remember the end section of that video, and really to me the answer to the question is it comes down to experience and being organised and planned, because that takes away a lot of the bad habits, makes you more focused. It makes it easier to make decisions as well. Like I said, they're my points for becoming improving your trading psychology. Have a detailed trading plan, become more objective, get experience, become a smart thinker, start trying to think outside the box when you're coming up with strategies and processes around your trader, becoming the trading psychopath. Now that is more about it's not like I joke about becoming Hannibal Lecter. It's more being more robotic in your processing of the trades. It's like a machine. Successful trading is boring trading, and it's becoming, like I say, that sort of cold steeled approach to your trading world. And other factors, staying motivated, very helpful. You've got to learn to lose well. If you understand you're losing, I keep a load of statistics and data on everything I do. So you might have 10, 12 losers in a row and you're starting to get really unmotivated, but if you know that's going to come along and into your trading anyway, it takes away that desire to mess around with your ideas and strategies, and then you become inconsistent. And like I said, that sort of comes on to being focused and prepared. It's having that trading plan before you even start. Everything I do, I know what I'm doing before even starting. Then you've got to be resilient. It's a tough job being a trader, and you're gonna have to take the rough with the smooth. It's as simple as that. I'll run through some of those individual points from Crypto A to Z there. Getting the right mindset, like I said, I think that covers that point. Keeping the mindset on track with daily difficulties and challenges. You're completely right. I've got a big family. I like doing lots of hobbies. All sorts of things happen in my world, and when I was doing it professionally on the desk as well, it's very hard sometimes to stay focused, and you've got to eject those thoughts from your trading world. And I suppose it's the same with a professional sportsman. Once they enter the arena, you don't know what's going on in the outside world, but they've got to focus and do the job, and it's exactly the same in trading. That's why I enjoy trading as well, because it gives you that variety and flexibility. But you really have to focus in on what you are doing. Think of yourself being in the bubble when you're in that trading world. But like I say, you've got the challenges of home, family, career, work. I'm lucky enough I can do this full time for myself, but if you're trying to do this part time, with a job, with a big family, I would say it's very difficult to do. And it all comes down, I think, to the planning, getting yourself free time. Accept that you're going to have times when you might need to run to a family emergency. It's going to impact your trading. You really just have to deal with it and get on. It's just one of those things of life in any job. Trading particularly hard because it's a 24/7 almost career, and like I said, make it part of your trading plan. Be honest with yourself and look at what goes on in your life. Is it realistic what you're trying to achieve from the trading strategies you're trying to achieve? Maybe you've got to create new strategies that work better with your family, your home, work life. And that moves on to that point 4 of distractions and focus. It's the same sort of thing. What gets in the way of the trading? What stops you being focused? And work out your plan around that. You can always build up your trading, success, and as you become more successful, then those other factors diminish because you can work your way around it until maybe your goal is to become a full-time trader. It's build it into your trading plan is the answer, and follow that video and those points that I make there. And goals within the trading system and journal, completely correct. Somewhere on my YouTube channel there's a video where I actually give away a trading plan that incorporates goals and trading systems and your skills and abilities at the time, and makes you refocus and work on them. There's actually a very good video I did that hardly anyone watched. Let me pull it up. You might enjoy having a look at it. Now if I go into my channel, let's search mindset, see if I've got anything on mindset. There we go. So you go, are you tough enough? Are you mentally tough enough to be a trader? Take the quiz. It's sort of like a self-help quiz. You do it once, you work out your score, and then you keep going over it and over it until you improve those weak points. Let me just scroll down to give away the trading plan on. If it's not, you go through there, scroll there, let me know, because I can send you a copy after this event. Quite happy to help out there. Right, so moving on from that question, this one comes from Daz. Please, can you go through your steps when you want to trade an instrument? What do you start with? Quite simply, I suppose everything is pre-planned. I don't just turn up and trade something. So let's take the example oil. I've worked out the strategy idea before I get trading it. I've put that, you treat it like a business, business plan. Everything is thought out before you actually get there. So you want a reason for trading. You need to know that you've got an edge. How do you know that? Well, it can come from a gut feel, experience, statistical measures, quantitative measures, the whole lot. Sometimes that's difficult to start with. So if you are new to trading and wondering, well, I don't really know what my edge is here, start from the basis of 50-50 win-loss ratio, and then keep results of what you're doing. do the trades in a small size, maybe for 3 months, until you've built up a database to see if your idea works or not, and it hasn't, wiped out your fund. So before I even start trading, anything, there's a huge amount of work that goes into being able just to turn up to the desk, and I automate stuff a lot. So there's another strategy that I've worked out, patterns, performance, and built that into an automated process to let it run itself almost. But that again came from a lot of research and background work to it. And when I want to actually do the trading, I've worked out my time frames. I can tell you my sweet spot of trading, my trades last from just a couple of seconds up to 8 days, for example. That's my sweet spot, and that's what I expect. So everything is built in before I start to trade the instrument. And then we mentioned in the earlier question about lifestyle and distractions and everything. What markets, there's no point picking a market, you're in the UK and you want to trade something Australian. If your strategy is to be there in real time, then it's not probably realistic. So it's just go through a set of the who, what, why, how, where, how, when questions. Right, get it down on paper, test it out, and then you get into the nitty gritty of it. It's working out how your stop loss strategy works, maybe how you're going to take the profit. It's getting that trade over the finishing line. So you have your idea, and then I like to think of it like a horse race with your jumps. You get let out, at the start line, and then you've got to get that horse to the finish line, and there's many hurdles in the way. So that's the rate, trade, and risk management. And then when you get to the finish line, it's about regurgitating all that information and going through that whole process again until it almost becomes boring trading. So I just turn up to my desk and get on with it without sort of really thinking about it. Another question from Daz. I've done your courses on Heikin Ashi and line break. I like them and really want to be better at them, but Renko looks good. Would you recommend I stay with Heikin Ashi line break, or could I have better results with Renko? Again, I would say use all of them. Come up with your strategy, what you like, work with. I wouldn't pick one just because you think it will get better results. Do it because it fits you and your personality. You enjoy it. You understand those charts. They look straightforward and simple. It would come down to that, because I get equal results with all of those. I particularly like Renko, but if I broke down my results to show you that Heikin Ashi makes me just as much money as Renko. So don't worry too much about focusing on what you think might work better. Just go for what you like. Now, I've been doing trading since the mid-90s. I started with the standard bar charts and that sort of thing. Didn't really like those, and it took many years before I got to the Japanese style charts, before I found that they better suited me, and I became more consistent by using them than the more traditional methods. So really it's down to what suits you, and that'll come through experience, trial and error, and just your own personality. As a starting trader, would you say a 50% win rate is okay, and what realistically could I aim for as I get better? Do not focus, my answer is, do not focus on the win rate solely, because you can have a strategy that only wins 20% of the time. You've got to also know, on top of that, your risk return. If you win one trade or two trades out of 10, but your risk return is £10 for every made for every £1 you lose, then you're happy with that. At 50-50, if you are 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, you're going to make nothing. So if you start from the assumption that you're going to win 50-50, which is a fair assumption to make, you're going to need the edge of that risk reward just in your favour, 1.1, 1.2 to 1, then over the longer term you're going to make money. Anything less than that you wouldn't at 50%. And that's why it's very important to keep the statistics of your trading. That's what I do for actually every trade that I've ever done. It's always recorded, and I know that win-loss ratio, risk reward ratio off the top of my head. And it also again adds discipline and consistency into your trading. So when you're sitting there wanting to trade and you know what your profit is on a trade or loss, you can see how it fits into your statistics. You can make a decision around that trade a lot more coldly calculated, like that psychopathic trade I was mentioning about. So don't get focused just on that win ratio, also understand the risk reward. Using a line break chart on 3 time frames is better than just using 1 time frame. It depends. You can use the 1 time frame. We've got strategies that work just well on 1 time frame, but I like to use the 3 time frames just because, similar to other charts that I use, I like to get that flow, the feel of the higher time frames, how it's pushing the information in the lower time frame. So again, you're going to need some stats data around what works for you, what markets you're trading. Different factors can affect the performance of the line break charts there. Also, what type of line break chart are you using? A fast maybe 2 line break, or much slower 5, 10 line break? That can impact the results, the trends that are being created in those bars there. Could I explain how the currency charts work? As Daz, again, I think you're meaning the currency strength charts, which we briefly looked at earlier, and I'm going to show you one of those. Let me just get that up. So here I'm going to give you also a little something extra as well that you might want to think about when looking at currency strength. So this is a 3-hour chart. How does it work? Really, it's a visual tool. Now, the green line, light green line, is the US dollar. It is, as you can see, the addition of all these currencies to come up with a feel, like a basket of currencies, to feel the strength and weaknesses of that currency. And the same is done to all those other currencies. I do it in the emerging markets world as well to see what they're doing at, and it gives you a trend. It's a visual tool, and you can change the time frames for if you're into shorter time periods of trading or longer time, whatever suits you. Again, you can get that flow going between the higher and the lower time frames. It's not very good for timing your way in, and that's part of the problem by just using this as a visual tool, because you can see these drops and turns and spikes. If you smooth them out, it's a nice tool to give you an idea of where the currencies are moving. So for example, here you can see the red line Japanese yen, green line is US. I would maybe put that pair together. You're buying the Japanese yen, selling the US dollar, but it doesn't really help you with your timing with the currency strength. So I've created this other chart, if it loads up, and here we've got those same baskets. We've got US dollar, Japanese, Australian, Canadian, pound, and some other variants I've created at the end. But this here, I've then added on an RSI and some rainbow bands to actually help me with the timing. So this is on a 1-hour chart. So the US dollar today, you can see, fell out at this time through that band and also crossed there. So to me, that's a US dollar weakness, and I would then look for, as we can see here, what happened today. Australian dollar, shot up about 5 o'clock, crossed through the RSI. So I'd be looking for those pairs. So I'd go through the majors as this example. Say US down, Japanese looking pretty neutral, Australian positive, Canadian down, GBP down but sort of recovering. We then check the RSI, and then what would I do? Again, it's matching up the pluses and the minuses to come up with trade ideas. So something else to think over the top of it. This gives you a nice flow of what's strong and weak, and this one helps you with your timing on the way in. Right, so questions from Gadget22. What would be your views in investing in precious metals equities such as producers, miners and explorers, as well as holding physical metals, gold and silver? I don't actually ever hold physical metals. Never have, even when I was trading it for real. But I would say the producers, miners, explorers, I do like them. It's a case of looking at the macro environment. I look at what's happening with gold and silver and other variables and timing my way in. There's a lot of South African and Australian stocks, American stocks, Canadian stocks for that matter, that are good producers. What would I also look for? Often these miners cross over into other areas like lithium, uranium, other hot sort of sectors. So I always dig into the background of what they're into and whether that fits into what's hot or not at the moment. I just want to hear your view. Currently, I do not hold any physical gold and silver. I'm considering buying as an insurance hedge. Yeah, it makes a good strategy. I won't argue with that. Producers mind, there's plenty of stocks out there that will be correlated to gold and silver. So that's why I don't think you really need to hold the gold and silver, because it's easier to get in and out of the stocks than the gold and silver that you'll never see because it's in some warehouse somewhere. So yeah, at the moment, again, I'll be looking at the sectors. Metals and mining looks like it's improving at the moment. Gold's, as I mentioned earlier in the market overview, heating up a little bit at the moment. So silver, it's getting more and more used even as an industrial metal now, so that could be a good bet to watch out for as well. Have I had any other thoughts on the Signal auto trade service that might be an option for those in this community? Gadget22, yes, I have, is the answer to that. Well, you've just seen the Traders Club on YouTube and its availability, and again, if I just go and take you back to that, you go into the join bit here, and the Diamond Club, there is trading signals and daily trading ideas, and the Telegram group where I will give a lot of information there, and trade signals. I think I might even have it open. Let me just see. As you can see, I've started putting information in there already, so you can see trades that I've been doing, when I've opened and closed them, chart ideas with targets for that group. Now also I've got two other things. If you want to be into the world of copy trading, I'm actually doing a deal with a broker at the moment where for smaller accounts, if you just want to copy trade through the day, I'll be putting my trades into this broker and you can copy there. Won't cost anything, I don't think, at the moment. Or if you're into the serious world of trading, also got a fund, and that is like a hedge fund really. If you're more serious in that space, you can contact me, let me know if you want to find out more, but that gives you access to different strategies and it requires £10,000 minimum deposit, so that's something else to consider. So I've just got to when I hit the join button, it echoes on the live stream. I've unstopped it, so I'm hoping that the join button has stopped the noise. So yeah, to answer that question, yes, there are a few things coming out now. We've got the Traders Club in the YouTube channel that will give you access to the Telegram and signals through there. We'll have a broker coming out where I'll be putting my signals in. If you've got smaller accounts or just want to just let me do the trading for you at that smaller level. If you want, you can actually interact and well be able to put your own trades on, so that's something to think about. Or like I say, if you're more serious and I've got the bigger fund, option as well. So now you've got through those, it's your time to ask me what you like in terms of questions. So I'm hoping that the echo has gone, and have you got anything to ask me? Is the big $1 million question. Anything on top of what we've talked about so far? Are there any questions out there? Hopefully, as the audience grows and I get more skilled at using this software, and we can get rid of the echo and get more people in, there'll be more questions to follow up with. But there's plenty of spaces that you can, catch me and ask me other stuff. But we have got a crypto A to Z question: price action first or news events first? What would I take? I suppose most of my trading, it's sort of a chicken and egg sort of question, that one. A lot of my trading is pure price action around using these technical analysis tools and setups and chart types, but it does factor in news events and other events. Oil, you have on a Wednesday we have news coming out about how many barrels are being stored or unstored in that world, and it was non-farms in FX world. You can build those strategies around the news event. Earnings is another one. US stock earnings is another good example. I do a lot of analysis around stock earnings. I know there's a strategy where you let the earnings play out and you watch what happens and time your way using technical analysis after the event. Give it a couple of days and you go back in line with the trend. That's one. Some people use maybe straddle options trading to get into that news event, and they don't care which way the direction goes as long as it moves. But I would say most of my trading is pure price action using technical analysis to use as the, I suppose, instrument of trading success. You can see my this is my automated system. Just got these instruments in there at the moment, and this is purely Renko. This is one strategy I run, purely Renko charts, and that's price action just based off of rules. And don't really care what the events are, but I've back tested the whole lot, worked out what's good and what's not, and put it in there and let it run. So hopefully that answers that question. Anything else? That's an interesting question. Won't be answering that one. Let's get rid of that. Anything else? Oh, here we go. We've got how much experience do you need to start using Renko charts? None, really. You can use them straight off the bat. If you are comfortable with how they work, then there's no reason why you can't just use them straight off. You can use them as trend filters as well to other types of chart type. I'll do that as well, but yeah, no experience needed in all those other types of charts. Start with that. Some people do it like point and figure charts as another typical example. Some people only live in that world and never move outside it, so same for Renko charts. Is the copy service available via the Diamond Club or elsewhere? Now, the copy service will be available elsewhere, but I will put the information on that when it arrives in the community section on my channel. Or I'll mention it at the next session of Ask the Trader. But that will be there for, like I say, those smaller accounts if you're interested. But when you have that, like I say, the fund for the larger accounts, when you get a bit more serious, hopefully the smaller copying service available within the next few weeks. By latest the beginning of the new year, the fund is available now. Just looking down the list. I can't see any other questions at the moment. Anyone got anything else? Let's give it a moment for you to have a think about anything, because now's your chance. Speak now, forever hold your peace. I'm going to just remove some other silly comments from people who've got more time on their hands than needs be. Anybody want to ask me anything else about anything? My predictions for the World Cup? I'm going with Brazil. Did that stir any conflict out there? No, it didn't. Well, if we have nothing else, then I'll remind you that the next Ask the Trader is the 28th December at 7:30. That's UK time. If I don't speak to you before, all have a very good Christmas. Watch out in the community space for the addition of these new services. Like I said, that membership Traders Club is now available live on the YouTube platform. Hopefully that will be an extra service for you, doing a lot of analysis, coaching content, teaching, signals, all sorts of things going on in that space. So check it out and give it a go if you want. So with that, I think it's coming up to nearly 8:30 over here in the UK. So have a very good day, evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me, and wish you all the luck with the trading, and I will see you next time. Thank you.